Wache, Ani, Bonjour, Sego, Tanse, Minigajep, good morning. I am Kiwe Tinwe in the night. That name translates into North Windman. I'm from the people of the Mushkegowuk, people of the river, Chapleau Cree First Nation Bear Clan, and I am a beautiful spirit. And I'm also sitting here with another beautiful spirit, and I will let you introduce yourself.
I'm Helen Fishburn. I have the honor of being the CEO at CMHA Waterloo Wellington, which is a large mental health provider here locally. And even more honored to have a friendship and partnership with Clarence and Crowshield Lodge, which has been about 8 years.
About 8 years.
About 8 years. We've been walking together.
That's awesome, Helen.
Yeah.
Thanks for that introduction. Thanks for introducing yourself, and thanks for taking the time out of your day. I know you're a very, very busy person. You have lots of commitments. You have a big team to oversee, but I do want to thank you for taking the time just to sit here with us today, and to just to be part of creation. And we don't have an agenda. What we're just going to do is we're just going to talk. We're just going to speak from our hearts. And
beautiful.
I am going to I'm going to ask you throughout the conversation, maybe through your perspective, how we at Crowshield Lodge can be the best ancestor. Leading into that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being you, and thank you for believing in me, and thank you for believing in us at Crowshield Lodge. I remember when our relationship first started, and I think I was waiting for you in a coffee shop at King and Queen in downtown Kitchener, and I saw you walking down Queen Street towards a coffee shop, and then you came in, and I had a big smile on my face, and so did you. And I think you said, Clarence, I just want to let you know right now that you're never going to get rid of me, because you're an amazing person, and I think you're doing some really good work. And I can't thank you enough for saying that to me at that time in my life, because it worked, it helped, and I needed it at that time, because that's when the vision of Crowshield Lodge was all firing up. Yeah. That's when I was looking for places and spaces for individuals to walk with me and to walk with us. And it's not that I had self-doubt. I was just wondering if it was the right time to create something like this. And then I was a bit concerned of how the word Crowshield Lodge would be received. Because there's nothing like that around us, and it's kind of a statement, right? To have the crow in front of the lodge, and then to have it as a place of healing and reconciliation and land stewardship and education. And you know where that came from? That uncertainty came from here. Came from my mind. It didn't come from my heart. It came from my mind, that self-doubt and those places and spaces. It came from my mind, and when I reflect about that, and I reflect about other times in my life, it shows me how powerful the mind is, and how powerful the thought is, just one thought, and how that thought can guide you and direct you, a positive or negative thought.
Yeah.
And then it also makes me think of how individuals are conditioned within their families, or maybe not even within their families, within their settings. Yeah. And then it also makes me think of the time we're in today, where people really do struggle with mental health. Yeah. And how it's talked about, and I can't thank you enough for always talking about that. I hear you on the radio talking about how we can meet people where they're at, what they need, what we can do as a community. Yeah. And I think that's great, because when I was growing up, and when I reflect maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago wasn't talked about.
No.
It wasn't talked about the way it is today. If it was talked about, I didn't hear about it. And the only thing that I can relate to that when I was growing up in foster care is we would always go visit, probably 2 or 3 times a year. We would go visit one of my foster parents' grandmothers. Well, my grandmother, so it would have been one of their parents. And my grandma Ryer, she lived on Park and Frederick Street, and or Park and Benton. That's where she lived. And when we would go visit her, she would have a sister that we wouldn't see much, but we would just see her in the shadows. And she wouldn't say much, but she would just always be looking out of the shadows, and then she'd go into a room, but I could never understand what was going on with this individual until I got older.
Yeah.
And
Then it made sense to you.
Then it made sense.
Yeah.
That they were part of the family.
Yeah.
They weren't put anywhere.
Yeah.
They weren't locked up. They weren't shunned.
Right.
They were accepted.
But just not talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And they didn't even talk.
Yeah.
So I remember that growing up, that there was that presence of I guess it would be a great aunt just around in the shadows, that and I guess that's what our families did back then. You know, I talked to Nikki too, and she has a cousin, and they just took care of them, took care of them.
Quietly.
And then, you know, and I don't know if this is concise, but, you know, I think the change happened in the 80s, where some of our psychiatric hospitals did get closed down.
Yep.
And then it became more visible.
Yeah.
Right?
We deinstitutionalized people.
So could you maybe speak a bit more about that, Helen?
Yeah, and I think what you're talking about is the journey of mental health, right? Where we've come out of the shadows.
Right.
It used to be very much a quiet problem that nobody talked about. A lot of people didn't see, got tucked away, a lot of shame, a lot of stigma, a lot of just not understanding what was happening. You know, you break a leg, you have diabetes, you have cancer, it's easy. Not easy journey, but easy to see, easy to understand, very concrete, practical. You have a cast on, you have chemo, you have surgery. Mental health is very complex because it's all part of our brain chemistry, very hard to understand, to make sense of, and it's scary. When you see someone with a psychotic break, when you see someone who is so debilitated by their depression, it's just so hard to understand, because it's, you know, it feels like those, you know, it should be an issue of willpower, right? Pull up your socks, try harder, get out of bed, go for a walk, call a friend. And it's an illness. This is an illness very much like the other illnesses. So we've come a long way. Deinstitutionalization happened. Folks that lived in institutions their entire lives but didn't need to, just getting locked away over here, came out to the community with supports, with people around them to help them with psychiatric care, with nursing care, with all of our teams. And over time, we've understood more, but we're still not out of the shadows completely, right? We still don't have a full understanding. We still struggle with stigma and shame. We still struggle with try harder. We would never tell a cancer patient to try harder, and yet we'll tell someone with addictions to try harder. Just stop drinking. If it were that simple, you know, don't you think they would, right? So, and then I think, Clarence, of folks from Indigenous communities with even deeper layers of trauma and loss and grief and genocide, and how much of a struggle that is within your community, which I now have a much deeper understanding about because of you and your courageous leadership and sharing and reflections, and the power of that, of your personal story, which I so thank you for. But we have a lot of road ahead. Despite how far we've come, we can't stop. We have to keep moving.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that. You know, where, you know, the overview of it. And, you know, when I reflect back on certain times in my life, I think there was a time in my life where all hope was gone.
Yes.
I was consumed by shame, and I was lost, and I was broken, and that's when my marriage dissolved.
Yeah.
And the way I felt, Helen, was that I was a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
I went into my shell,
Yeah.
and I didn't come out
Yeah.
for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I was lost. I lost all my confidence. I lost my voice. I lost my esteem. I lost my purpose, meaning, and direction.
You lost yourself.
I lost myself, and I was
Yeah.
caught hard in the grips of addiction. And I remember that happened for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was with some friends one time, and I said, like, I knew that I was pulling back, and it wasn't good for me, and I didn't know if I was depressed, but I knew that something was really different, and I coped. And then something switched. Well, I stopped drinking for a year, so that helped.
Yeah.
I regained my esteem, and I started to become more social, and that really helped. That really helped me. But taking that first step alone was the hardest thing.
Yes.
Right? Because, and it's almost like when I reflect back on my life, how fear has really impacted my life.
Yes.
From all stages and phases. From when I was a youth to an adolescent to an adult. Now I'm going into my last quadrant where I'm going to be an elder soon, and
Amazing.
and fear doesn't impact me that way, because I studied that, and I looked at how fear ripped me off, how it held me back, how it put up barriers for a very long time.
Yeah.
And in treatment, I figured that out with the help of the House of Friendship at 174 King.
Yeah.
So I figured, if fear has such this impact on my life, and fear of that unknown, how can I change that? So I took out fear and I put in opportunity.
You got out of the turtle.
I got out of the turtle. I opened things way up. I found my voice. I found my gift.
Yes.
And then I started meeting other people where they were at, on the street, doing outreach, frontline work, more and more frontline work. Saying that, Helen, that was where I seen some of the most horrific things in my
Painful.
life.
Terrible pain. Yeah.
Painful.
Yeah.
Painful. And I thought I've dealt with some of that stuff in the moment, and then it was quite evident that I haven't. So that's all about my self-care, and just always being aware.
But that's what guides you, right?
Right.
Like coming back to where you've been,
Yeah.
coming back to the pain that you connect to.
Yeah.
And as hard as that is to carry, it drives you, because you know we need to do better for those people, for the journey you've been on.
Right.
You got help at House of Friendship, which is an amazing place. But there's still other people that haven't been able to crawl out of the turtle yet, that don't have access.
Yeah.
And that's, I know I see that in you, because that drives you forward. It drives us both forward.
Yeah.
Right?
It does.
In terms of what we can do together.
Yeah. And doing that frontline work, after doing it for 6.5, 7 years, I noticed something. I noticed that I was becoming callous to death, because there was so many people that I was supporting,
Yeah.
and I wasn't having the time to grieve them.
Yeah.
Because I would grieve one person, and then maybe a day or two later somebody else would pass, and then it was just like this, and I didn't have enough time. And then it was becoming normalized, and
Right.
I did not want
Yeah.
that to be a part of my life.
Yeah.
So I started looking for other opportunities, and I remember going in and talking to John about an opportunity that I had to leave.
Yeah.
But I was scared,
Of course.
because I had the stability and everything at the House of Friendship, and but then John talked to me about risk, and And it was good. It wasn't good, but I had to take that step.
Yeah.
And it seems when I'm reflecting back in my life, Helen, I'm always having to take that step.
Yeah.
Taking that step outside of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
so that I can always continue to grow.
Yeah.
Knowing that, it scares the crap out of me.
Well, and no one can do it for you.
Right.
You have to do it, but it doesn't mean you have to do it alone,
Yeah.
right? You had John, you had other people
Yeah.
that were part of you in that journey, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you needed to bring your friends in closer
Right.
in those moments,
Yeah.
like that, it doesn't make this step any less scary,
Right.
but at least you've got support as you do it.
Yeah. And I like what you just said there, support.
Yeah.
When I reflect back on that time in my life, it was all about supports.
Yeah.
All about supports
Yeah.
and early recovery, finding that pathway, finding that understanding, finding my voice. But they always just support.
Yes.
So I had to go find 20 people to be in my support network, 10 in the core,
Yeah.
and then 10 around the outside.
Yeah.
And I remember that was interesting because they encouraged us to do that. And they said, you're going to have to sit down and find those people and tell your story to them.
Yeah.
And ask them if they will be your support.
Right.
Right?
Bring them in closer.
And fortunately, everybody said yes. Right? Which is
Yeah.
great. But that also proved to me that by asking for help, you're never alone.
Yes.
And connecting with culture, I know that I'm never alone either. But certain times in our life are going to test us.
Yes.
They're going to push us to our limit
Yes.
to see how we cope,
Mm-hmm.
to see how we react or respond,
Yep.
and to see how we can keep going.
Yeah.
Recently, one of the hardest things that I had to experience was the passing of my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Another test,
Yes.
right?
Another painful test.
Another painful,
Yes.
truthful test
Yes.
that I think I could see it coming. I didn't want to acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. But it hits hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
the pain and
Yeah.
the loss and because she was the only thing that was ever constant in my life besides shame.
Yeah. Interesting.
And she's gone. Shame is still there, but it's always going to be there. But I know it's there, and I know why it's there. But losing her, it just shifted me.
Did you want to go back to the turtle? Did you have to fight against that?
I wanted to run. I didn't want a turtle because I think I wanted to run as far away as I could because then it wouldn't be real.
Right.
And then my partner Nikki said, right now your role and responsibility is ceremony, and you're supposed to be there for your nieces and nephews.
Right.
So she said the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ran. It's just that thought, right?
It's an
Because
instinct.
It's an instinct, right?
Yep.
But then that realigned me, and we grabbed my bundle and we went on a 10-hour drive to go say goodbye to my sister. And that was an honor. It was an
Yes.
honor to be there for 4 days to do the ceremony, and then to finally see her. And we had the opportunity the women had the opportunity to give her a cedar bath before she made her journey.
Beautiful.
Um,
And think of the healing that you have because of that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It doesn't make the loss any less,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it fills your heart with some hope and what she's offered to you your whole life has been, what a gift that is.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. And then some of my elders that I take direction from within my accountability circle, they could see that I was struggling.
Yeah.
So they encouraged me to reach out to another elder, Peter Schuler, which I did. And I did a release sweat.
Beautiful.
And it was so hot. So hot.
I bet.
But I cried.
Yeah.
I cried. That's what I needed.
Yes.
I needed to release and to be able to do what I can continue to keep doing today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not alone. You know, her blood is in my veins, and you know, I have a responsibility now just to make sure her family's okay.
Yeah.
So I've been checking in on them and making sure that task is being done, and that they're because they're going through a bunch of firsts,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
First Mother's Day, you know, they're coming up to all these firsts that are just going to shift them
Yeah.
and put them into reflection,
Yeah.
you know. And then I always think about, you know, when families are caregivers and when they're supporting a family member that has a mental disability, how that impacts the family.
Yes.
And how long can they continue to keep giving and giving and giving?
Yeah.
And then sometimes, you know, we hear that families can't do it anymore, and then they put the family member into supportive care.
Yeah.
Which I think is good,
Yes.
because those individuals are trained individuals.
Mm-hmm.
They give that.
Caring environments with
Yeah.
their needs being met.
Yeah.
But again, very hard for families to make that shift, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guilt in that
Mhm.
for caregivers. We see that
Mhm.
a lot with caregivers who, you know, should care for someone in their family, but sometimes it's just too much.
Too much.
And the person's needs are too much, and they need more than what a family can offer.
Yeah.
So the family can still provide that support and love, but know that their family member's getting the care that they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard shift to make, though.
Yeah, and it's to do with it can be to do with elders. It can be
That's
to do
right.
with addiction. It can
Yes.
be to do with mental health. You know.
Children with complex needs,
Right.
needing to be in a 24/7, like there's all of it, right? When you look at making that shift across the lifespan, the grief and loss and guilt that you feel, it doesn't matter whether it's a child, adult, or senior, the caregiver will have all of those feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Helen. Could you share a bit about your journey, how you got to where you are today?
Sure. I always say I'm an accidental CEO.
Okay.
I never aspired to be a CEO. To me, Clarence, and you and I know each other very well now, that's a title, it's a label. What inspires me is making change in our system and doing it the right way. So throughout my career, I've been drawn to roles where I could impact, where I could make change, where I could be with people that help make that change. And I love working with an engaged team that's driven, that is, you know, really wanting to do. I mean, we all know our health system is broken. It's fragmented. It does not work. And, you know, nobody would have ever dreamed or put a health system together like it is now. So we have to find a new path forward. We have to bring pieces together, reformulate things, find new ways of working together, innovations, creativities, all those things, right? We have to think outside of the box in order to do better, to meet people's healthcare needs. So I'm driven by working with people like that who can see that. So I have the honor of being the CEO, and the honor is just having the ability to make some of those decisions and move things forward. I think about our partnership and how much you've taught me. So in the past 8 years, I work in a very traditional mental health approach where we have a medical model, and, you know, we have an amazing array of supports across the lifespan, and we provide excellent care for people who have traditional needs. In working with you, and honestly working with some of our other diverse communities as well, but particularly our Indigenous communities, where the power of the land for healing and connection and being calm, you've taught me a few things. So one is the power of the land and everything that it can bring, and how much the land can strengthen people. Second is trust is built over time, not with words, but with actions. And that was one of the first things you said to me in that coffee shop was, I'm willing to walk with you, let's walk, but we'll take our time and we'll see what unfolds, right? And what unfolds is based on what action you make and what you commit to. And that's always stayed with me. You've also taught me to listen with my heart and follow my intuition. You know, sometimes when you get into these roles, there's a lot of reporting, there's a lot of compliance, there's a lot of things that fit in this box. And you've taught me this is important, but this is even more important. So following your heart and following your intuition. And then also, you've also taught me, and I've seen you model this, you embrace everyone's gifts. Even if they're gifts that you may not really love or agree with or struggle with. You embrace everyone's gifts. Everything that comes to the table, you need to learn from. You need to learn about. I think in our world, right, we're so, everything is so polarized in our world. And we've seen that through the pandemic. We've seen it through all the cultural issues. We've seen it in so many ways. And what you've taught me is we embrace all that and we create space for it. And so the journey that my agency is on, the journey that I am on, is about how to still honor the traditional mental health, but make room and make space for everything else we haven't been doing, which is what Indigenous communities need and other people need. So I feel like where we're going and what we're offering now is so much better than what it was. But as I said, we have so much more to do. So I'm so honored and humbled to be on the journey, but I'm also a bit impatient. Like, I want things to move faster than they do sometimes. And again, you've taught me that it has to be the right time. It can't be my agenda. I can't look ahead in my scheduler and pencil it in. We have to put the work in. We have to put and it takes a lot of work on many levels, with people, with policy, with the politics, like so many layers of all of that, but we drive it forward and we wait for the right time. You know, we're working on an interesting opportunity right now, you and I, which, you know, has been bubbling for a year. But there might be this really amazing window for us, right, to really create something amazing. So it's all of those things, right? It's staying with it, pushing forward, and then also listening and waiting for the right time to really create change. You're right. And a slow burn. It's a slow burn. Right? Yes. And that can teach us a lot. Yes. That can teach us a lot. I remember our first, I think, partnership or collab, what we worked on together was those men's circles. Yep, that's where we started. In Cambridge. Yep. Where I was doing them with Hilton at the Y. Yep. And like, I can't thank you enough for that, because and it was so simple. Yes. It was so simple. Yes. We gave you a little bit of funding to do circles. Yes. And you did this amazing work, and then we added women's circles. Yes. But it was like, this is what amazes me. They're just very simple things that we can do that have such a meaningful impact. But again, that was the seed, right? That planted everything that we need to keep moving on. Yeah, and then we needed to water it and germinate it, and then that took us to another opportunity and another opportunity. That's right. I wanted to let you know that we did have interviews last week, and we did find a candidate. Wonderful. Right? So this is a thing. So now we have this formal partnership between us where we actually share a staff person, which is awesome. Yes. It's going to be amazing. And again, you know, when I think back even 5 years ago, if someone were to call here 24/7, which is our gateway into mental health and addictions, and say, you know, I'm looking for land-based healing, we would have said, sorry, we don't have it. And now if they call or they don't call, we direct people as well. Now we have land-based healing. We have an opportunity for people to have their healing based on Indigenous principles and practices. Again, through our partnership, through the amazing work that Crow Shield is doing all across our area, and our other Indigenous partners as well, who are working with you side by side, right? But the opportunities people have now, like so much more inclusive, which we've never had before.
I agree. I don't think this could have worked 10 years ago.
No.
I think this is the right time for us to model how Indigenous and non-Indigenous people and organizations can come together to enhance a community. And why wouldn't we do that?
That's right.
Why wouldn't we do that? We want to show how we can do this in a good way. That's what we're always striving for as Indigenous people. So saying that, Helen, knowing me and knowing us, and the work that we do, I like to answer this question. I like to ask this question, so maybe you can answer it. At Crow Shield Lodge, how can we be the best ancestor that we can be today?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is to hold the truth. That's the one thing that I've always admired, one of the many things, but one thing for sure, Clarence, you hold the truth of your heritage, of the journey of your people, and that we can never forget that. But you also invite reconciliation into it. So here's the truth of what we've been through, here's the pain of it. We can't ever shy away from that. We have to hold that space, which is painful. And it's in all of the work that we do.
Right.
All of it. It's all there. Layers and layers and layers of trauma and loss. And here is this space that we're holding around reconciliation, and the two fit together. So you are a constant reminder to us of this pain and this opportunity. Please don't ever stop that. The other thing I think that's just so important is inviting everyone into that space together rather than holding different spaces, right? Because we're never going to have a shared understanding. Never have a shared understanding if we're in two separate. If I'm in the office and you're on the land,
Right.
we'll never understand it. We have to bring our communities together in the healing. And I know, like I tell you this every time, we started with this. Every time I come to the land, my shoulders drop about 6 inches. I breathe differently. I feel grounded. I feel like I know what I need to do when I leave here. I feel focused. We want to create that opportunity and space for everyone else. So we need to do that together. You're on a path, but my path is to help make that space even bigger for you. Space at the planning tables, space at the funding table. I need to move over to create room. There's so many things that we need to do different, but we need to keep forging the path together. So keep holding us accountable to that, and keep fighting, keep forging the path.
Yeah. It's not always easy.
It isn't.
It's not always fun.
It isn't.
But I will say it's exciting.
Well, it's, being in these kinds of leadership roles are a tremendous honor and a tremendous burden at the same time. And it's one that we carry simultaneously. The weight of the world sometimes rests on our shoulders, but we also have an opportunity to make change. And to sit and to try and do the right things, right? And this is where leadership in the past has actually been a barrier, right? When you're not sitting in the truth and you're not making the right decisions, you're shutting things down. So we have to really challenge ourselves, myself, you, and our own teams, to make sure that we're doing this in the right way and leading in the right direction. So I feel very comfortable and confident that we're doing that. But you're right, it's not an easy journey. Feels like sometimes we're walking through a minefield.
Oh yeah. And saying that, like Helen, you just said something that every time you come out to the land, you start with smudge.
Yes.
Your shoulders drop, slow things down.
Yes.
You can hear things, you can see things, you can feel things.
Yes.
For a little bit of time, then you have to go back.
But I'll take it.
Exactly.
I will take it.
So I always listen to that, and we always know how the land not only impacts us but everyone. So at one of our sites out at St. Clements at Camp Kaweewai, we decided to build a yurt. So we built that yurt. It took a couple of weeks with some volunteers and some team members. But we built that yurt as an alternative. An alternative if, say, a counselor wanted to meet with one of their participants or clients.
Beautiful.
On the land, instead of meeting in an office, you could meet in a yurt on the land.
Beautiful.
An alternative.
Yes.
We're just looking for more and more
Yes.
and more alternatives. So
Yeah.
if I'm aware of that, why wouldn't we create more alternatives to
Absolutely.
help and meet people where they're at? So I think it's a great time to be doing stuff like that. And I can't thank you enough for knowing how important time is. Not only for us, for yourself, but for your staff. Because the time we're in is very challenging.
It is.
And we're seeing self-care can be challenging for some people.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't even know what it means. They just know that their load is increased, and then it feels a bit heavier, and then they just put their head down and their blinders on, and they plow through and they plow through and they plow through. But
That's
you
right.
can only do that for so long.
You can only do that for so long. It will always catch up to you.
Yeah,
It will.
It will.
And when I think about our formal system, which I'm a part of, the trauma that we've created for people historically. So any opportunity to do things differently with people, to offer different opportunities for healing, I think that also shows to our community that we're open, that we recognize that we need to do things differently, that we're following your lead in creating safer spaces and bringing people to the land, and all kinds of, there's so many different ways that people can heal.
Yes.
And so the more we understand and embrace that, we then create those opportunities for other people as well, which I think is very healing for everyone, for the system, for people, for all of it, right?
You're absolutely correct. And what we do is we just go back to basics. And what is it about? Wellness. Wellness within our mind, our body, our spirit, and our emotions.
Yeah.
And how do we attain that wellness? By coming to the land.
Yes.
Our mother has everything that we need.
Yes.
All of our medicines come from the land. Our ceremonies are on the land. All of our objects are from the land. We're land-based people, our teachings.
Yes.
So,
Right back to the basics. I love that.
but you're also about wellness, right?
Yeah.
You're about wellness. Our sweat lodge it's like our hospital.
Yeah.
That's where we go in to release, to pray, to heal, and then when we come out, that lodge represents the womb of our mother, the earth. When we come out, it's like we're being reborn. But it's all about just being well.
Yes.
And that's what you're about too. Just through a bit of a different lens.
Yeah.
So just think of how we are enhancing and we're modeling how wellness can be viewed through multiple lenses.
Yes.
Not
For
just
everyone.
For everyone.
Yes.
For everyone. So I think that's amazing. I think it's an amazing time that we're in, and I really honor this partnership.
Well, thank you for trusting me,
Yeah.
and for your generosity of your wisdom, your experience, all parts of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. You've shared all of that. You've put it in a book. You've shared it in circles, you've shared it everywhere, and honestly with me, Clarence, and I can't tell you how grateful I am to you. And I really do believe in you and your team, and I've seen firsthand what we can do when we work together and we continue to build this partnership, and I'm really excited for it. We got to keep moving,
Yes.
but I'm really, really excited about what we can do into the future. So thank you for everything that you're leading. I'm following right behind you.
Yes. I like that. You're following right beside me as an equal.
Wow. Yes. Thank you.
And I enjoy that. Just one last thing. I want to let the listeners and the viewers know that we've been working on something for the past year. Not
Yeah.
you and I. Well, you and I have been.
As
We're
a
always
core, as a
working-
core,
We are always
yes,
working on something.
we are.
We are always working on something. Some things we just can't talk about.
That's
right.
right. That's right.
But I want to let the viewers know that one of the biggest barriers we always have is land. And recently, Crochet Lodge has been successful in opening up our land trust.
Amazing.
So we can now take land into Crochet Lodge and assess the land and give a tax receipt. And the land that we take into Crochet Lodge is going to be for preservation, ecology, research, ceremony, and those next 7 generations that aren't
Beautiful.
here yet. So that by the time they come, they'll always have a place in a space like this to always come to.
Beautiful.
We'll do the hard work.
Yeah.
We'll sit in the truth. And then when they come, they just have to maintain it.
An investment in land is an investment in our wellness of our community
Yes.
through what you can offer. So I really hope that you continue to grow and find new opportunities. We need you in Guelph.
Yes.
We need you in Wellington County.
Yes.
And that's, some of the pieces that we're working on.
Yeah.
But, and this is not a big piece of land that we're on right now.
No.
But look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Look what is here.
Mm-hmm.
You would not know that you're in the middle of Kitchener.
No. No.
And so little pieces and little pockets where you can find the opportunity to build your programs and services. It's just, it's honestly a gift to people.
Exactly. I look at it where we have these Ontario health centers or these places, right? Why can't
Yes.
we have little wellness places in the bush for
100%.
people, right?
Close, like, can you imagine just coming here after receiving a chemo treatment?
Yes.
Or, struggling with a loss of a loved one, or struggling with an addiction and trying to find your path. Like, there is so much healing that you can have here with you and your team, and my team coming with them as well, right?
Yes.
Like, we're all in this journey together. So,
It's all about
very, very
wellness.
excited about more opportunities for that.
So through my lens, we are both doing the work of being the best ancestor we can be today. So I want to thank you for that, Helen. Thank you for
you.
walking with us. Thank you for believing us. And thank you for your time today, because we believe the best gift anybody can give is a gift of their time.
Yeah.
It's a piece of their life that they're never going to get back. So I want to say thank you for taking the time. I look forward to seeing how many more things we can create in the future or now, and I'm excited to see how many people we can enhance their life, right? By just offering some alternatives.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you for enhancing my life.
Thanks, Helen.